Alright, in this video we're going to be changing the rear brake pads and rotors on this Mazda 3. It has an electric handbrake, so this is how you do it. You want to take the two bolts holding the brake caliper on. To do this, you're going to want to make sure the slide pins don't spin around when you do it. So you can either use a spanner or vice grips, whatever stops it from moving. From there, you want to remove the brake caliper, remove the rear brake pads. As you can see, these brake pads are extremely low and need to be replaced. There is an inside pad and an outside pad. As you can see, there is some divots on the outside and some divots on the inside. Make sure you put them in the right way. You need to remove the motor on the back of the brake caliper. There are many different ways you can do this. You can go in the car and go through the sequence with the handbrake button. You can connect your scan tool to then retract the handbrake piston. But what I do is I remove the motor from the back of the brake caliper. Anyone can do this, so then you can do your brake pads yourself if you need to. You need to remove these two screws. Once you have removed these two screws, you just pull the motor off the back of the caliper. You need to wind the caliper piston clockwise. When you do this, back it off a touch just so you can realign the motor. I like to put a tiny bit of grease back onto the spindle of the brake electric handbrake motor, so then everything goes in nice and smooth. Once you've done that, tighten everything up. A quick side note, make sure the handbrake is down before you do this. So go in the car and push the button so the handbrake is down before you do this. Then you should be able to just push the piston back into the brake caliper. Make sure you take the cap off the brake reservoir and make sure the brake fluid doesn't overflow either. Give everything a good clean and put it to the side. From there, there'll be two bolts holding on the brake caliper mounting bracket. Remove these two bolts. When you do this, make sure to clean the brake caliper mounting bracket extremely thoroughly. You will also need to re-grease the slide pins that are on the brake caliper mounting bracket. As you can see here, I'm using a Bendix style grease. I'm pretty sure this is a silicone grease, so you can use something like this or a ceramic grease. From there, remove the brake rotor. You might need to hit it with a mallet to get it off, but it should come off. Clean the face of the hub to make sure that the brake rotor goes back on nicely. Spray it down with some brake cleaner, and I like to put a touch of anti-seize. You don't need much, just a little bit, just to help take it off in the future so it doesn't stick. From there, you're going to want to reinstall the brake caliper mounting bracket, chuck the two bolts in, and then tighten them down. Once you've done that, you're going to want to reinstall the new brake pads. I like to put a touch of grease on the ends of the brake pads. I've done this a lot and never had any issues. If you don't want to put any grease on it, you do not have to. But once you've done that, take a little bit more grease and put it on the back of the piston and on the ears of the brake caliper. And then you can put your two bolts back in and then tighten them all down. Remember not to get any grease or anything like that on the actual brake pads or the rotors. When you've done that, go over your work, make sure everything moves freely and there's nothing fouling on anything. In regards to the sequence after this, pump the brake pedal a few times and then re-engage the handbrake. You'll hear it wind out for quite a bit. This is normal. And then top up all your fluids and make sure everything's good. If you like this video and want to get in contact with me, shoot me an email down below. It'll be in the description details. Thank you so much for watching.